Oh, welcome back. Welcome back to the Brand and Bloom podcast. We are here. This is a special episode. We have a guest today, and we are going to welcome Brittany Lamb to the Brand and Bloom podcast. She is also my sister. Fun fact, if y'all did not know. I'm just going to share a little bit about her and then we are just going to dive right on in. So, Brittany Lamb is the owner of Lamb's Land Hosting Co. She was also part of the Build Up program. She was one of the graduates. She was actually the first one to join my program. She's a wife, she's a mother, she is an entrepreneur. And I invited her really onto this podcast because she was my first client in my program. And, since then, things have kind of shifted with how she approaches her content, the different things that she's juggling with content, business, working, being a mom, being a wife. So I thought it would be nice to kind of hear her story of how she began. So welcome, Brittany Lamb. We are glad to have you. And if you want to share anything about yourself, feel free to let us know anything that I may have missed.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. Really looking forward to diving in. I think you pretty much did what you did for your intro. I'm perfectly fine
Okay.
with all of
Okay.
it.
Awesome. That's fine. Okay, so let's just dive into our questions. What were you doing before Lamb's Land Hosting Co? Like what made you realize you wanted something different?
So I've been working in real estate for about 10 years now, specifically property management. And when I started in real estate and I was learning about the area that of property management that I was working in, I saw that there were an array of like possibilities. Like when people think real estate, they immediately think, "Oh, selling real estate."
Mhm.
But I was really exposed to different avenues in real estate. I started out with really diving into staging and then design, and then I was like, "Well, I do like real estate," so I went on this journey to figure out how I can combine the two
Mm,
and do what I love pretty much every day. Um, so
awesome.
that started on my journey. And then I don't know, fast forward however many years, because I started in property management maybe around 2015.
Mhm.
So fast forward to what, 2023, 2024, we inherited a condo in Middletown, Connecticut. And since we wanted to put our hand to working in invest real estate investing, specifically furnished rentals, we were like, let's keep it in the family and let's try our hand at this and see how it goes. So thus Lamb's Land Hosting Co. was born.
So what would you say the defining moment was that kind of pushed you to start, even leading up to starting Lamb's Land and your first property?
I think the concept of keeping something in the family, it
Mm,
was more of like a legacy project. It was kind of like, okay, we're not really ready to let it go. We've been
right.
wanting to dive into real estate investing, so we were kind of handed an opportunity. Um, and at the same time we started the business, we had just had our first son, so we were like, what can we do to either leave something to him or teach him like work ethic and show him how business can be run in a in a real authentic way,
Mm,
right way.
right.
um, I think the passing of our father-in-law kind of like shifted like all of our mindset as a family. So we're like, let's just do it. It's new, it's uncomfortable, but this is what we've been wanting to do. So let's try it.
Yeah, and I think that's awesome. So with you taking on this new property, I know there anytime you start a business, there's always like challenges or like different things that you have to navigate and that you come up against. So what were like the biggest challenges when you started? Any surprises or lessons that you've learned during this whole process?
Surprises were, because now you're in entrepreneur mode. And as an entrepreneur, you have to like learn like a new level of discipline, like staying on top of paperwork and admin and marketing, and you're the CEO of all things. So it was a little overwhelming at first. And it still is, to be honest, because I do still work a 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
That discipline has to be in place. I feel like it's a daily decision to be disciplined,
Yeah.
to work on your business, to stick with it when it's hard, when nothing seems to be moving or manifesting or, happening. No one's buying, money's not coming in.
Oh.
You gotta definitely, I have to remember my why.
Mm.
Um, every time I see my project and what I did, it brings a smile to my face and a joy. So it's like those moments like kind of help me to keep going. But the discipline and no one's telling you what to do and when to do it. You gotta do
Right.
all that yourself. So that's kind of like a shock to the system. It was a shocker to the system.
Right. Did you feel like it happened faster or slower than you expected? And like, if you could do anything differently, what would you do differently?
Um, I think we did what we knew to do at the time. So I don't know that I would change anything. In real estate, the saying is time is money. So if I had to change anything, it would just be more diligent with getting the property open.
Yeah.
Um, but I gave myself some grace because we're out of state. We're still working full-time jobs. We're new parents. So we kind of did what we needed to do and it worked out. But that would probably be I would probably be more diligent with getting it open. But there were so many other factors involved that prevented us from getting it open. And so no
Yeah.
regrets. I have
And
no
I
regrets.
know I was part of like the whole process pretty much. And to me, it felt like once you decided to move forward with like renovating it, doing it over, it went pretty fast, in my opinion. Like things just like
Okay.
escalated.
Oh,
Things escalated quickly, and before we knew it, it was like, oh, it's done, it's furnished. People are actually looking to stay here. Like it was just like
yeah.
to see it progress was definitely inspiring, and it was definitely fun because I was part of the
Yeah.
process. But and I feel like even though you may feel like you don't know maybe what you could have done differently, I feel like you said, you did what you knew to do or what you thought to do. I
Right.
felt like it was like a good training project for you, so that
Absolutely.
when you do get another property, you can take what you learned and make it
Sure
better.
can. Yes.
That
That's the plan.
It was definitely exciting,
That's the plan.
an exciting process to see. So I kind of want to shift a little bit because you were in my program. So I want to shift
Yep.
to your experience in the program and how that kind of shaped your thinking about how you run your business pretty much. So I have a few questions. So why did you join? What was your biggest takeaway? And did you have any mindset shifts during that process?
Okay, so I'll start off with why I joined. I really needed a system put in place to
Mm,
help me to be consistent. I'm a very structured person.
yep.
I need systems. In some regards, need a checklist 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yep.
because when you're running a business, it's all overwhelming. And at the same, and marketing could be like the last thing on my mind.
Right.
Um, so I joined it to get organized, to get my system in place. Um, Mindset shifts, I'd probably say it was very important to learn that I could be myself, especially because this was a legacy project.
Yeah.
I wanted to lead with story and why we're doing what we're doing. And I feel like that helps me to show up more as human
Mhm.
online and helps me to gain people's trust. and hopefully potentially want to buy from us or stay with us.
Yeah.
So I would say confidence was definitely a mindset shift.
Mm,
Finding my cadence when it came to posting, getting clarity on who it is that I serve. And
mhm.
I realized that I don't want to post just to post. I want to, if I do post, it is strategic and like hitting the mark. I'm
Right.
still learning that.
Mhm.
Um, I think because I'm trying to be strategic in my posting, I feel like it keeps me stuck.
Mm,
So in some regards, so I'm
mhm.
still working through that, but
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I think that's good though, because I know that when you started, you definitely had a goal of how you wanted to approach like the content and the posting. And I think now working with you still, like it's like, okay, it's more exciting now. And you can correct me if
Hmm.
I'm wrong, but it's more exciting now to actually create the content and like stay on brand and all of that. But
Yes.
I think when you had first joined, it was like you said, building the structure and making sure you had a flow, not just with how you run your side of the business, but the outward side with the marketing. So I think
Hmm.
it was a good partnership to be able to even for me, because it was my first time opening up the program, so we were kind of like learning together and building together.
Yeah.
um but I remember seeing a huge shift in your confidence, like it's like when you started to get a tenant, or like
Hmm.
started to see like this is really taking off, like this is really happening, I'm actually in this. And I think it made it more fun to create the content for your brand. And
Yep.
every now and then you see your your Instagram feed and you're like, I love my feed, I love my Instagram
It's
feed.
so aesthetic. Being
Yeah.
aesthetic is extremely important to me.
Okay. That's good. And that shows through your marketing. It shows on your social media pages that you care about how you want to present
Present.
Lamb's Land
Yes,
to the public eye.
absolutely.
So you're very intentional. You did mention that you don't want to post just to post. Uh and I know this, but for people that are watching, because I work with you, we do content together. But how do you approach your content strategy when you are thinking about maybe you have an opening or you're trying to get booked for, like, how do you approach that, and how do you decide what to post?
So I think I have to have like that context, like, okay, I need a tenant, or we're about to have an opening in XYZ months. I want all my content to center around, okay, reaching out to that. So because we have a furnished rental, my content would be based around the feeling of staying at our property, showing all the various ways that you can enjoy it, um, highlighting what's local in the area that people can enjoy. And another thing that I try to do is especially when I post local content, I try to post things that I know that I would do. Like, I love going to wineries and the beach and the theater. And so I'm
Yeah,
posting those things because I just feel like it's going back to the not posting just to post. I
right,
want it to be authentic. I just don't want to say, I don't necessarily want to put something out there that you can find on Connecticut.com or whatever the website
right,
is.
right.
I want to say, would I go here? Okay, let me
Mm,
post this, or how would I enjoy the space?
mhm.
That's what I want to post. So
Yeah, it's like you're giving
keeping
them,
it personable.
right, you're giving them, you want to give them an experience of not just the stay, but what's around, like, and what they can enjoy in as well. I think I like that you do that approach with your content.
Yes.
Um, so how are you with balancing Lamb's Land, motherhood, marriage, work,
Girl, bye.
content? Like, I
I
know it's
don't
not
know.
easy. I know it's not easy. I mean, I'm working through that myself, but like, how do you try or attempt to approach balance
Attempt.
those? Yes.
I t- I take it day by day, minute by minute, hour by hour, second by second. No, but in reality, I try to leave work at work.
Mm,
When I'm home, I try to be present with my family. So honestly, like working on the business has been like evenings and weekends. And even then, it's not every weekend. I mean, every evening and every weekend.
mhm.
I set it up where I have a couple of days out of the week to work on my business, whether, and I try to focus on things that are going to move the needle, like not trying to do all the things,
Right,
but
right.
check in my numbers. Did I tweak my listing for the property? Did I plan at least a couple of posts? Because I said I wanted to stay consistent with 3 posts. Do I have those 3 posts
Hmm.
scheduled or crafted and scheduled? So
Yeah.
I try to give myself specific days that I work on my business so that I'm not like burnt out.
Yeah. Speaking of burnout, it's a good
Mm.
segue into my next few questions. So, what do you feel keeps you going? How do you avoid the burnout? And how has your content changed over time? If it has, if it hasn't, that's fine.
Um, preventing burnout, I've honestly been listening to my body because I have a demanding 9 to 5.
Mm,
If I'm tired at the end of the day, I'm tired at the end of the day. The good thing is that we're starting with one property and it stays booked relatively most of the year. So
yeah.
I know I'm telling myself I don't have to go crazy with marketing. I
Mm,
don't have to go crazy with posting. I
yeah.
just have to be consistent with what I said I wanted to do. Anything outside of that or extra is gravy.
Mm,
But I don't want to I have to like listen to my body.
mhm.
Um and sorry, what was the other part of the question? You said
What?
reducing burnout.
Yep. What keeps you going, and how has your
Oh,
content changed over time, if it has?
what keeps me going honestly is I love beautiful properties. Like, and I love what I did with our property. It was a quick job relatively,
Hmm.
and there's definitely things that I would change about it, like the decor and stuff like that. Outside of that, I'm so proud that I actually did it. So that keeps me going. I have like screensavers on my TV. I have screensavers on my laptop. So whenever I see like flashes of the property, I'm like, I
Yeah.
did that.
Yeah.
I did that. So that keeps me going. It's like, all right, all right, all right, let's keep going.
Yeah.
It's not easy by any stretch, but I love doing it. So that keeps me going. Just the beauty of it,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yes, that makes sense. And I just thought of a question that just popped into my head, but you have mentioned, trying not to do all the things at once and being consistent with what you said you were going to do. So, how long did it take you to get from, because the excitement of it all makes you want to do all these things all at
Right.
once. So, how long did
Yes.
it take you to realize I don't have to do all the things? I need to just do what matters right now because you're juggling all these different things. So, how
Right.
long did it take you to get from point A to point B?
I'd probably say I'm learning this like about 5 minutes ago.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I went. We opened up the business, I should say, in 2024. Today, recently, I'll say it's like okay, I can only do so much.
Mm-hmm.
What activities do I need to focus on to just make sure that it's moving the business forward?
Right.
So everything from the finances to the marketing to
Yeah.
prospecting and finding new leads. Like I'm just trying to focus. That's my brain.
Yeah.
And AI has really helped me to organize the
Yeah.
brain and help me to prioritize what needs to be done and when. So I have the use of AI being in the program or connecting with you
Mm-hmm.
um, has helped with that. Definitely doing this alone is not.
Mm.
You don't want to build your business alone. I
Right.
don't recommend that.
Yeah, that's not. You definitely need, even if you have just like one other person helping you, I feel like that is such a game changer when you're building a business. Um,
Even somebody to just bounce things off of if you're not
oh
paying
yeah,
for somebody's service.
yeah,
Like if you have a good trusted friend or somebody that believes in the vision that you're, casting, just having them to bounce ideas off of,
yep,
invent to, and all that other, that's invaluable.
yeah, I agree. And I mean, that kind of segues into my next section of talking about the real side of, especially with what you're doing for Lamb's Land, the real side of the entrepreneurship. So, do you have a hardest season from when you started to now? Like, what was the hardest season? Or what
Mm,
is like the biggest misconception about hosting
mm.
and rentals?
Oh, okay, yeah. So I think the biggest misconception is that you're just either collecting rent or
Mm,
it's putting up a property is just so one, two, three.
mm,
Any and everything can happen in between. Outside of that, it is asset management, it's revenue management, it's customer service,
mm,
it's sometimes handling calls at different hours of the night.
mhm.
It's pipe bursting emergencies, weather emergencies. So
Yeah,
it's definitely not as straightforward as people might think if you've never worked in the industry before.
yeah, yeah. That's a lot to think about because and a lot of these hosting companies, they have like a team of people that handle different things.
Yes.
So it's a lot harder when you're doing it by yourself. I know you have like other people that kind of help, but you're
Yes.
doing it essentially by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
through all of this, I know you are a mother, and what has that taught you? Because you kind of started these both simultaneously, right?
Yes.
Like you started being a mom around the time you decided to take over this property. And
Yes.
what has that taught you throughout this whole journey?
Um, so I would say prior to motherhood, it was just kind of planning up dreams for myself.
Mhm.
Um, my goals were mostly about me, but and not every decision it had a purpose to it, but not as big as it is now, or more prevalent, I should say, now. Um, I'm building something that hopefully creates options and flexibility and opportunities
Mhm.
for my son. It is also teaching me efficiency. Like I literally can't work the same way I worked
Mm,
prior to motherhood.
yeah.
When I first started out in property management, there were times when I would go in late or go in early, stay late, work a
Mm,
weekend.
yep.
I can't do that now. So it taught me how to just be more efficient with my time too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. So would
Mhm.
you say that that was a season for you? Would you say you kind of have that under control now that he is what, two and a half?
Yeah, I definitely feel like I'm in more of a routine. But going back to one of our earlier questions about just being diligent in entrepreneurship, that's the part I'm working out right now.
Mm,
Because I do every I notice that every time I move in a new guest, I take a break.
that's good.
I'm barely doing marketing. I'm
Yep.
just trying to make sure that the guest is taken care of and
Yeah.
there's no maintenance issues. And then I kind of like jump back into the marketing
Hmm.
after a little bit.
I think that's a good strategy to have, especially with where you're at now, because you only have one property. So it's easier to
Mhm.
manage that and splitting it up where you have a guest and then you're focusing on the marketing. And then when the guest leaves, you're focusing on getting the rental ready for the next guest.
Yeah.
Because I've seen,
I
I've been in this process and I enjoy the parts that I can take part in. And just, it's just nice to see the systems and the structure come to life with what you set in place.
hmm Yep. Yes. Ideally, I want to have a tenant in before the previous tenant leaves,
Mm,
current tenant leaves. So
yeah,
that's why
yeah.
marketing is important. It's important that I stay on top of the marketing because I
Hmm.
want, know if I don't have anybody in our property. I'm not making money. So
Right, right.
um that goes back to me. I was like hitting myself on the hand a couple of days ago. I was like, you gotta get back on your marketing, girl, because time is ticking.
Yep, I was like, schedule that appointment, schedule that appointment.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we're almost wrapping up. So what are your goals for the next few years? Like what is next for Lamb's Land? And do you have anything exciting coming up? Like what can we expect to see?
The goal is definitely to grow our portfolio of furnished rentals.
Mm-hmm.
I would say in the next year, I would love to take on another property, whether I'm owning it or managing for somebody else.
Yes.
If I manage for somebody else, you can technically scale a little bit faster, but I'm an operations girl. So if I don't have the operations and the systems and the team in place, I'm not as in a rush to scale.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I want my piece of the pie in real estate, and I want beautiful rentals that I can design and furnish
Yeah.
and rent out. So the goal is more rentals, ideally 10 to 20,
Mm.
maybe 30 with the team. But yeah, I want a boutique
Mm-hmm.
hospitality company.
Okay. Well, when that happens, we're gonna have to have you back on the podcast for an update.
See how it's going. Yes.
See how it's going.
I might need a full-time social media person for that.
Yes. So, okay, this is the fun part. We're going to do a little rapid fire. We're going to keep it fun.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you, this or that kind of thing, and you
Oh,
just
okay.
spit out whatever comes to your mind first.
Okay.
So, coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
Beach or mountains?
Mm. Mountains.
Favorite business app?
Mm. I'm loving Google right now.
Rapid fire, rapid fire.
I'm loving Google right now
Okay,
for all my
okay,
business needs.
okay. One word that describes entrepreneurship.
Discipline.
Okay, one word people use to describe you.
Reliable.
Favorite book.
Catcher in the Rye just came to my head. I haven't read
Mhm.
that in years though.
Okay, what's one thing you can't work without?
My Bic crystal pen.
Okay.
1.6 millimeters.
Oh, okay.
It just writes so creamy.
And that's I know a lot of people like their pens. I know a lot
I
of
love my
people like their
pens.
pens. Okay, so final stretch of this episode. What advice would you give someone who is afraid to start a business? Maybe they're in the hosting game as well. And what do you wish every woman knew before starting a business?
Advice that I would give um, is definitely
Mm-hmm.
knowing your why, knowing your audience, because I know this is about, posting and things like that, marketing, I should say.
Right.
Knowing your audience is really important because you want your time and efforts to matter and to hit, the people that you want it to hit. Um, I would also say don't stress about posting daily
Mm.
and even doing what everyone else is doing, the trends that are all out there. Lead with your story, keep your why in mind. Um, I heard it the other day. I was listening to another podcast. They said it's the story gets people to your page and stay on your page versus just,
Yeah.
scrolling.
Mm-hmm.
So be yourself is like definitely my advice, but knowing your why, writing it down, writing out your vision, really making it plain what it is that you do, want to do, your dreams, the 1, the 3, the 5 years. I feel like just all that just kind of keeps you grounded.
Yes, I agree with all of that. I agree with everything you said. And I really hope that, this can help someone who ends up listening. But that is all I have.
Mhm.
Those are all the questions I have.
Okay.
Thank you for joining and sharing your story today. I really feel like this conversation is it's going to encourage people to either get started, or if they're already started, it's going to encourage them to continue to build their brands and their businesses. So
Yes.
before we go, just tell us where we can find you. We will have everything listed in the description, but just let people know what platforms you're on and a website if you have it.
Okay. I'm on Instagram and Facebook. You can search Lamb's Land on Instagram. It's lambs underscore land on Instagram, and Lamb's Land Hosting Co. on Facebook. Our website is www.lambsland.com. And you can also find me, Brittany Lamb, on Instagram as well, and on Facebook.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Thank
Thank
you for
you. Thank you for
tuning
having
in.
me.
You're welcome. And thank you for tuning in. And we will see you all on the next episode.
Well,